I am BK, your English to teach you guys English, how to speak, to understand, to write and to read. But today there is different thing. I'm not teaching you guys English, but I'm making you able to go on the track to learn English yourself. How like? In my class, I teach the students for 6 months continuously. What the way I use for my students in the class, and I make them able to speak English and listen the English and write the English and read the English and get the clear picture of English only in 6 months means that everyone can learn English only in 6 months. So now, how do I teach my students in the class when they are learning complete English in 6 months and they are fluently speakers to speak in English? What I do with my students, I'll tell you the same thing today in this video. There are some things necessary to be focused for learning the English quickly, clearly, and confidently. What are? Number one, tenses. Without tenses, you can't learn any language. I can speak, understand, read and write probably 9 languages. I have experience of languages. Every language has got its some basics like a key to enter into it. So English has got tenses. Without tenses, you can't imagine the right and the wrong while speaking or writing the English. First thing is tenses. You should be clear about the proper usage of the tenses, its grammatical correctness and usages. Present, past and future and their further 4 divisions and so on. After that, sentences. I teach my students every day only 5 sentences in the class and advise them to remember till tomorrow and its proper usages accordingly to the grammar. And one other important thing, every language has got its own way of talking. We should not transfer the other languages ways into the other languages, okay? The sentences means if you are learning 5 sentences a day from the very basic to the very advanced level and you put them in use and you make practice of speaking of them, so this is one other side to complete your language. Number 3, vocabulary. Now vocabulary is the material. For example, this is a brick wall of my classroom. There are units. Every unit is called a single brick. If there is no bricks, there is no wall. If you don't have the vocabulary, means you don't have the bricks, you can't build the wall of a language. Either it's English or someone else. So for English speaking, you should have vast vocabulary. If you don't have a storage of vocabulary, which is mostly dependent on the nouns and the stuff, so you can't speak. Because if you want to speak something and you don't have the idea of its name or this, so you can't. Vocabulary is very necessary. Increase your vocabulary from the simplest words to the most difficult. 4, connectivity. Now there is connectivity like this, 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 this. You should not, none should mix the wording up. You should put every word on its own place. For example, that's the door of my class, that's the window, that's the ventilation. We can't put the ventilation instead of door, it's impossible. Neither we can fix a door in the place of ventilation. That's impossible. So you should put the words in a sequence properly, and you should try to learn this thing as well. Number 5 is group discussion. You are remembering some words as a vocabulary, you are learning some sentences, and you are learning 1 or 2 tenses a day. So this need to be put in a practice. Make a gathering, call your buddies, sit with them and talk to them, and try to listen them as well. This is the very, very important way to improve your speaking, because if you are speaking with your friends, with your buddies, so you are not in a pressure. You are relaxed and you are empowered to speak in front of them, because you are not worried about making mistakes. If you are making mistakes in front of your or in the gathering of your buddies, that's not making an issue for you. So this is the other way. Okay, number 6, that's environment. All the times be in environment to learn English just for 6 months. To watch on TV, on YouTube, on Facebook pages, and think all the times in your mind, and sit in such kind of a gathering where the people use English a lot, or word by word, either word by word or thoroughly speaking in English. Okay, number 7, boldness. Always those are losing who are afraid of facing the situations. Now you can say that learning English is also a situation for me, because if you are not able to speak English, you are still in trouble and you want or need to learn English. So you should be very bold, empowered and overconfident. If you are thinking, if I'm speaking in English, I could make or commit some mistakes, and you are avoiding speaking English, you are never able to speak English. So be overconfident, be very bold. Think that you are speaking English as it's your native language, and you are not speaking something that is difficult for you. Because everyone can speak English, but everyone is learning. If you are in the initial stages to learn English, everyone was in the initial stages who was not natively English speaker. But even if someone is English speaker, when he is a baby, he is not speaking English. He is coming through the environment up and learning the English. So this is the way I use in my class, and my students are becoming able to speak fluently English in 6 months. So the same way, if you follow this way as I'm following in my class, you will be able to speak English only in 6 months. Thank you.